Yeah, 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 yeah. Holding back this feeling heated again. Chest all tight, deep breaths, can't breathe again. Fighting back these tears, done with all this fear. It's too late to latch the cage, the beast is here. Tired of running and playing all types of games. Tired of acting like everything just gonna change. They say love is the answer, love is the key. Man, tell that cop right in my chest with his knee.
It seems to, all we spend time trying to figure all this stuff, and it's right in front of us. It's right in front of us. And the fact that it is chaotic and mixed up and hard to identify is because that's the strength of the system. The system doesn't want us to have these clear visions and views. It wants us to be like jack backwards, like, I don't know what to do. It's like, well, you actually do. You really do. And I keep thinking about what we need to do as people of color. I don't know if you were you there Friday night? You had during a session, open mic sounds like. Friday night, there was a gathering of Black male educators.
Yes.
Were you there?
Wasn't there. No, I wasn't there.
Ooh, it was so good. It was so good. 7 to 8:30, just being together and just being like, yo, this is a lot. I hear you. Not having to explain stuff. Someone made, like, all the little colloquials, someone made some little comments and everybody got it. And like, it's such a relief to not have to explain that. It's such a relief to just be like, yeah, you get this, and like, be yourself. My favorite thing I saw was one brother had his son on there with him, and his son just kind of sat there looking. But I was like, this is beautiful. Yes, sit there right next to your father for an hour and a half and witness all of this. So I do find myself thinking about what does it mean for ways for us to support each other and take care of each other in this space and in this time, because this is rough. We're seeing people, we know about it, but like, something I haven't seen the video of Ahmaud Arbery. We talked about this before. I haven't seen the video of Floyd. I still haven't seen Philando Castile. I make a real intense effort not to. It's hard.
It is hard.
But I don't watch that stuff because I don't need to see that.
Yeah,
I don't need to see
refer to it as, trauma porn or murder porn or whatever. Shield yourself. There's sometimes you already know what's happening. There's no need you don't need to see it to believe it.
No.
Like, you don't.
I think that actually feeds a bitterness. That feeds a bitterness because the anger is there, but you really get the point. Just like, we also had a moment with a session on Friday with a young kid, beautiful young sister, trying to figure it all out. She said, I don't know what to do, and I'm afraid. Can I go outside? Is this going to happen to me? And she said, it's really hard for me to see the president say that people are patriotic when they go into the state house with guns, and then when we protest, he calls us thugs. Like, what does that mean? And I was like, yeah, that's one idiot with a lot of power who's trying to mess you up. Let me tell you something. You are fine and okay. Don't let that idiot mess you up. Don't let it mess you up. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to cry, be angry, but don't let him think that you are anything except for magical and incredible and wonderful and beautiful.
Exactly. Exactly. I
I
think to your point where you were talking about the Black male educators and what do we need to do for people as people of color, something that a good brother sent my way. Sent me a number of different things. He's been sending me a number of different things. But he sent me something going around called like the Black Man Oath, right? And it reads as this: as of today, I have no problems with other Black men. My goal is not to hurt or harm you, but support and uplift you. We have enough enemies. Be safe out here, Black man. So just really thinking about.
Send me that.
I will send you that. Thinking about what it means to truly support and uplift one another. What it means to truly be there for one another, what it means to truly stand in solidarity with one another, realizing that we're all in the same struggle. It might look different, we might look different, but like Malcolm said, you're not catching hell because you're Muslim, because you're Christian, because you're gay, because you're straight, because you're Black, because you're a person of color, because you're a marginalized group in this society. So the minute we are hip to that game, the minute we can be better allies to one another and move this thing forward so we can all be liberated and free. But we have to start seeing each other as each other's strength, as opposed to each other's weakness, and as each other's friend, as opposed to each other's enemy or competition.
Yeah, I'm with that. I love that, and I'll take it a step further and bring in Mother Kimberly Crenshaw, who gave the term intersectionality. And we don't use intersectionality properly. You know, intersectionality is not that, oh, you're two things and it's similar. Intersectionality is about the racism that women faced based on being female and being a person of color. Like, that's what she meant when she first started. And people slide and throw the word around. I'm glad it's a phraseology to make people think, but it means so much more. It becomes something else. But something she says, and I offer this to you, she said, I don't want no allies. I want accomplices. I want people who are there. An ally can go, this is too hard, step away. I don't need those people. I need people like, oh, well, we're in this. This just got hard and ugly and terrible and it hurts and it's scary. I don't know what to do. I'm right here. I'm right here with you.
Amen to that. Yeah. We need accomplices, and then further down the line, the co-conspirators. The accomplices show up. They show up when it's time for the thing to go down. Co-conspirators planning it with you.
Right, exactly. And deal with the ramifications, deal with what happens. You know, you get arrested, I get arrested. And we're going to figure out the bail. Not somebody come and got me and leave you. Like, oh, no, I can't go. Like, you know, it needs to be like that. You know, because I don't want allies like, oh, my mom bailed me out. Sorry, good luck. No. We got this together. Come through and stay in it when it's hard, when it's scary. You know, it's interesting. I don't criticize because I respect everybody showing up the way they can in these stories. But I do believe I worked hard to figure out how to navigate and talk about these situations and what to do. And I feel pretty far down the line to have a deep understanding of them and the need to push us in directions. I gotta say, this is trying to hold together. But it's like a matter of how are we supposed to do all this? I'm already waking up being like, damn, there's a major disease virus in the world that makes it that I can't go out and go to the store without worrying about touching something, catching something that I've seen kill my friends, that may kill me too, that's not been resolved, not been fixed, still is mysterious. And still people with power are fighting amongst each other versus working together to collaborate and fix this. You know, that's one thing. Then I've always had like the Black situation and the Black man in America. And now I'm sitting here like, wow, cities are burning right now. Cities are burning. The world is on fire. And it's a moment of like, you know, I feel confident in the work that I've done, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid for what's going to happen to us. You know, what happened to us? Because not everybody's on board. Not everybody's on board. That's why it's problematic and complicated, you know. And for me, it's like people are pushing back on the fact that 1 + 1 is 2. Like 1 + 1 is 2. This is history. This is how things set up. This is what it is. And people in their own little spaces like, well, I don't know if that really is the case. And going out and like burning down buildings in your neighborhood, that doesn't work. And these folks for all the stories. And I'm like, all this stuff may potentially be true, but I'm interested in having a conversation about what happened to a kid that survived there. You know? A dear friend of mine has put a posting on social media today about this photography store that burnt down in Chicago. You know, owned by this older gentleman, older white gentleman. And I saw it and like people like, oh, I'm so sad that's gone, burnt to the ground, it's over. And I was like, this is a dear friend of mine. I was like, how am I going to respond to this, you know? And so I went looking and found online the guy who owned the store. And he was being interviewed by like a news program. The guy was like, oh, you must be so upset. What's happening? He goes, yeah, it's really upsetting. I love my store. And, you know, everybody's safe, everybody's alive. And a lot of memories are lost, you know, and I'm going to rebuild. And the guy was like, the reporter was like, well, you must really listen to what's happening, what happened here. He goes, yeah, it's really upsetting, you know. We've done things to keep people like away and safe. You know, I really hope the firemen who came into their job are all safe, but they're safe so far. They're watching it burn. And the reporter kept pushing. And the guy was like, you know, I'm not upset and angry the place burnt down. I'm disappointed and hurt, but I'm not upset. I'm upset about what happened to get us here.
Mm.
I was like, right on, man. Like, right on. He's like, I can rebuild that. I can rebuild that. I can rebuild that. I lost a lot of memories. I lost a lot of stuff. No one got hurt. I can rebuild that. But we are here because somebody killed a black man. Somebody assassinated a black man. I was like, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's wisdom. That's knowledge. That's what we need. That's what we need. You know, I had another friend. I should have had the quotation pulled up. Another cop friend, because you know, whenever I'm asked to speak about police, I talk about this in the Q&A, but I'm going to say it here again. Whenever I'm asked to speak about police issues and Black Lives Matter, in relation to police, I have a good buddy who's a cop in New York City, white guy. You know, went to college, came to school, came to New York to be an actor, ended up in the police department. Great guy, you know. And so he, you know, I remember when the Eric Garner thing happened, and I was like, yo, can we talk, man? Because this is just upsetting. I don't know what to say. He goes, that officer will never get indicted or jail time or anything. I was like, what do you mean? Do you see what I saw? I saw what you saw, but it's not going to happen. Like, he's following protocol. You know, what happens oftentimes, people say, I can't breathe. Everybody says I can't breathe when you're trying to wrestle to the ground. So we have things in our heads, in our minds, say like, oh, check it. Come on, it's just somebody else protesting. And I was like, but didn't you see what I saw? You know, I kind of left it because he had his job, but he had a performance. He had a whole world of experiences I didn't know about, and I had mine. So on his own, the day after George Floyd, he sent me a message. He's like, hey, I just want you to know that everybody in my precinct in Brooklyn, everybody in my precinct, we watched that story and we classified this as an execution. And I was like, oh, here we are a couple of years later, you know, and we're seeing things differently. I was like, tell him about that. He goes, you know, I've just been watching. It's just really intense. You know, and I say, you know, how you doing? You know, because you're a cop and COVID is real. And he's like, I'm doing okay, blah, blah. But he ended it by saying, you know, I just want you to know that what I do now is I look at these situations and try to interpret and understand them. And then what I do is I make sure I'm doing the best job I possibly can. And I check my biases as I do this work. And I was like, that's growth. Like, this is what it is. That's what we need. We need officers thinking that way, saying, I check what I do in this job. Not, here are the protocols. Here's what happened. This is it. You know, because that guy felt comfortable putting his knee on that guy's neck because what has happened consistently, historically, and in the news everywhere. It's like, oh, he's doing his job and he's off.
So
that guy had this record, that guy did that, all that stuff. No.
Yeah.
No.
So 2 points to that. One, I haven't fact checked it myself, but what I heard this information is from a credible source. And it said that the sixth leading cause of death for African-American men are the police. Yes, number 6. So I haven't fact checked it, but from a credible source, reputable source. And what I'm thinking about when you just gave that story of growth, okay, there are some folks who are showing up right now. There are some folks who are showing up when there's no reason for you not to really show up unless we really want to call you some other names, right? And it's worse than Karen, right? I'm talking about other names. I need folks a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, a decade from now to keep that same energy. So when we talk about growth, growth doesn't just mean, oh, I arrived at this new space and I see it your way now, but I'm going back to business as usual. It means you continually grow. It means you continually try to challenge your biases, realizing that you will always have blind spots. We always have blind spots, no matter who we are. There are some things that we just don't see. Some of us just have more blind spots than others because they don't have to really look at the same things we look at. They don't experience the same things we experience. So I just really need folks to keep that same energy. And I was sharing this with some people before, and I'm going to share this with my colleagues. When I put out a call for people to join professional development, you better respond. When I offer all these resources, you better take them. When we
Right.
call and schedule different presentations, you better show up. When we have affinity groups and we're looking for people to be advisors, you better show up. Like, there is no excuses anymore. It really isn't. Because if you start to make excuses, I'm gonna have an issue with that. And I will call you on your nonsense, because you cannot hide from this. And if you are, get out of the way. Because honestly, I have no use for you. And honestly, it seems like you're probably gonna do more harm than good. So go sit on the bench somewhere. You're out of the game. Don't come back. So I just need people to be real with themselves. Keep that same energy, because it feels good now to hear some white folks and some other folks like stand with us and actually put in that work right now. It needs to be sustained, because this doesn't just happen overnight. We've been fighting this forever and a day. So how do we make sure we keep that same energy?
Yeah, that commitment, this is not a one-off. It's not a two-off. It's a lifetime commitment. I was thinking of that once, talking about 29-year-old, brilliant guy. And he was like, he's been throwing ideas like, what do I do? How do we get this work? What happens? And I'm like, this is a lifetime of work. This is a lifetime of work. And you're at a very great stage now. Ride with it, run with it, do something, challenge yourself, challenge your people. Don't be destroyed that you can't go and change an entire institution tomorrow. Get in there and interrupt it where you can, and jack it up. Throw that crowbar in the system and say, here's why, and stand by it, and understand where your work to understand your superpower. Work to understand your superpower and then use it. Work to understand it and then use it. Use it deeply and intensely. I think that is my work.
Amen. So when we think about this moment in time, I started off the school year doing a presentation for my school saying, this is my 2020 vision for the diversity work. And I pretty much borrowed a line from MLK. Where do we go from here? See, the chaos or community, right? And I think in this moment, what I'm hoping is it's a both and.
Yeah.
We need some chaos.
Yeah, we do.
I firmly believe that we need some chaos. That's how folks know it's real. We need some chaos. We need some folks to understand what it feels like. And we need some folks to understand that enough is enough. And sometimes, as they say with this new generation of students, show me, don't tell me. It's a show me generation as opposed to a tell me generation. We're done with the lip service. Actions speak louder than words. So we need some chaos. However, on the other end of that, we need to start thinking about community and what it means to build our community. What it means to build a community that if something like this happens, we're able to organize. Like that scene in Malcolm X, where they want to go make sure Brother Johnson is good. You know what I mean? They all turn, boom, and everybody, we need organization. So we have this chaos piece, which is important, which we need. Let's also turn our attention to what's the community going to look like? How do we build it out? Who's on board? Let's strategize, realizing that we all don't have the same role to play. We all have different roles and responsibilities. We all have different gifts and talents, but we are functioning as one body. We just have to make sure we have the same goal in mind, and that's the liberation and the upliftment of our communities, and to make sure that we are not oppressed anymore. And it takes a number of different spaces for us to occupy in order for that to happen. And we don't need to start competing with one another. We need to collaborate with one another.
Yes. Yes. We have to build. We got to build. We got to build, because it's time to get to work. And actually, for you and I, it's time to continue the work, and it's time for other workers to come inside or come outside. Pick up your axes, your hose, your whatever it may be, to do the work and get to it. Get whatever any way you can figure out how to do this work, get to it. It may be scary. And I was having this talk that I don't believe in saying, be brave and do this work. Bravery is John Lewis marching across the Evan Bridge. That's bravery. Right now we're saying, get comfortable being uncomfortable and challenge yourself. I'm really cautious with that language of this. It takes bravery to engage in these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
No. This is not bravery. It's scary and it's hard and it's risky, but that's not bravery. That's discomfort, and I don't equate the two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't equate discomfort with bravery.
Exactly.
Showing up to these protests, that's a form of bravery because you're risking stuff. But to change the way you behave and think, question. Here's a moment. I was in a trying to keep it clean, planning, and we're dividing folks into groups. And this is the day after the Floyd situation, and the groups were in colors, and one of them was the white group, and it was based on colors that related to the organization. That's all. It wasn't anything else. And I was like, I said, I have to say this in the wake of how I'm experiencing the world right now. I don't want to say, let's put folks in the white group. I don't want to say that. And it was like, oh, I thought that too. I thought that too. And I was like, why didn't you say it? Why I got to be the one to say it? You know? And it was intense because after I said it, and I was sitting there like this, because I'm not going to facilitate this moment.
There we go. The black man challenging the white group again.
Exactly. And it was dead silence. They're just kind of like, and I was like, okay, but I was glad I said it, and I was like, I hope I'm modeling good behavior for you all. That in these moments, you know, if you ever wonder how the Pepsi commercial gets made, all the other things, this is it right here. No one stood up and said anything when they saw something that could potentially be a little awkward. You know, a little awkward. We're as like 300 people to come into that space. You know, go join the white. Click on this thing. Go to the white group. With nothing to do with affinity. You know, it was just a color. And I was like, let's just rename it. Oh, they were like, totally, yes, good idea.
And again, and that's another example of how the work does not stop.
No.
You have to constantly interrogate everything that's happening, because there are moments when you might think it's just simply putting people in a group that relates to your organization's colors, but you have to think a little bit more deeper than that. And it's like, this might be problematic, particularly during this time. And we have to have that lens. We have to train our mind for that. And you can't do that unless you engage in the work.
Yeah. I want to throw in a closing question. Unless you have some more stuff.
So go ahead.
How do you, because it's important to, and I've raised this before, but now in this moment, how are you finding joy and relief?
It's a good question. I would say right now I'm trying to make sure that I, one, continue with my Black sabbatical. God, keep doing that. So reading the books that I need to read, which are even more important right now. The books that are on my shelf that I have not touched yet, that I've been meaning to touch, I need even more time and space for that. The other piece is trying to make intimate one-on-one connections with folk. There's one thing to send a full email. There's one thing to address a large group. But for example, there's been a couple of times I've been in a Zoom meeting, and then I'll privately send a message to a student, great to see you today. I hope all is well. Then you can see their face, smile on camera when they get that message. It's like, that brings me joy. We just connected. So those type of things as well. Additionally, is trying to make sure that I continue to do the things that I like to do, such as have conversation with you, make sure I have conversation with some of my boys, make sure that we're continuing to try to lift the work up in different spaces, share articles, share information, pass around the memes that are saying, you know what, tell a Black person, tell a Black brother that you're proud of them. Those type of things that people share to me, I share back at them. Maybe try to get back into some artwork in the sense of like maybe writing a little bit more, post on blogs, maybe share my presentations online that I've done before in the form of PDF. Like that's what brings me joy. And then, you know, sometimes joy is just having a cup of coffee with my wife outside on the deck. Sometimes joy is having a little sip of that brown. You know what I mean? Sometimes, this is joy in a glass, baby. It's joy in a bottle, joy in a glass. You can put it on a plate. That's joy. So I think part of it is trying to remember that, and this is how I try to live my life. As long as I wake up and there's breath in my body, I'm good. I'm good. And I know that because when I wake up and I have breath in my body, I'm responsible for making sure that I help others maintain that breath in theirs. So that's what brings me joy, the responsibility of I got to keep going. Because just imagine if our ancestors gave up, if our ancestors said I'm tired, if our ancestors said I don't feel like doing it. Imagine how worse we would be.
If we were even here.
If we were even here.
If we were even here.
How about you, man? How you maintaining joy?
You know, I'm thinking about I did a 5-mile walk
Now.
in the mountains. You know, my friend and his 2 kids and his lady, and then Tim and I went and we just, you know, just looked and breathed in the air and remembered how beautiful life exactly is. We went to this place called in the Mohawk Trail. I think it's called like River to Ridge, you know, and in this place called Duck Pond. And I saw a big ass turtle. I saw chipmunks running around. I saw that bear this morning. I was like, what's next? You know, so I really think coming up here and letting myself have this retreat and reprieve before I return back to the masses, you know, and then supporting where I can. You know, a lot of people be like, you're very quiet on social media. I'm like, yeah, I'll take care of myself.
Yeah.
A whole lot going on. And responding to the people slowly getting, I feel bad because I'm going to respond. I mean, I got a lot of, like not 5 or 6, like dozens of, hey, checking in. Hey, what's up?
Imagine.
You know, recorded voicemails. Hey, what's up? I just want to know how you know, like emails people I haven't talked to in ages. Like, I just want to know what you know, how's it going? And the majority of them end with like, and what can I do? And I'm like, I done told you what you could do. But I do say, you know what, I accept the love. They're doing the best they can, expressing love and reaching out. And that's right there. And that's very important. And reaching back where I can, you know. And I'm telling you, reading. The books are the secret and the joy. And letting myself turn things off. And I hit, okay, Tim and Tony got a jacuzzi in the backyard. So I go sit in the jacuzzi and chill. I was like, turn it on. I'll be out in the back.
Bring a little brown with you.
Exactly.
Bring a little brown with you.
You know, I had it sitting in there. I work hard. I deserve the good stuff sometimes. That's it. And also, honestly, once again, this and you and the conversations, and I hope that if 5 people hear it and get something, you know, that's a beautiful experience for me.
Amen. Well said. Well said, good brother. Yeah. Well, it's been a week. It's been a month. Yeah. It's been years.
It has.
But you know, we're really feeling it, seeing it right now. But man, we got to close. We got to close with a little bit of a brown, man. Got to close with a little bit. So, you know, just keeping folks in mind, keeping things in mind. Just need to lift each other up. We got to do a final toast, man.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, man.
So,
you know, so that inner strength that we had, that resilience that we had, and also to taking the steps to preserve and support that resilience, whatever it is, and then remember who we are. That's my final toast.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I will build on that by saying, you are enough. You are beautiful. You are brilliant. You are not a thug, right? But you are, one, what our ancestors dreamed of, and what folks in power are afraid of. So,
right, exactly.
Let's just get after it. Let's not stop pushing. Let's build, let's build, let's build, and everything will be better as long as we be better.
Yes. Cheers to that. So, it's so good. My goodness.
Yeah, another good one, man.
Barbershop, man. Brown juice barbershop. This is a heavy one because I'm heavy-hearted. I'm very heavy-hearted, and I'm also lifted by the importance of this space and this communication. Lifted by it.
Likewise, and it is our hope that other folks are lifted by it too.
Yes.
You have enough for it to be throughout the week for folks to really dig into and feel. And it's almost like we're with them in their living rooms, wherever they're watching, in solidarity, just giving them a hug, giving them love, and hopefully they get another little warm hug too.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Well, till next time, man.
Yeah, take it easy.
Brown Juice Barbershop. Get your retreat on, bro.
Hey, be safe out there.
All right. Later.
All right.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Yeah. Trying to live my life, putting purpose over profit. Too many fallen soldiers, too many slain prophets. Eyes on the prize, yeah, I gotta watch it. Agents amongst us, get your hand out my pocket.